Back to Bradley Manning here in just a second. Let me close the loop on this. Well, not close the loop. Let me give you the next phase, which is analysis and opinion on this whole effort by the left to engrave this election as fraudulent and illegitimate because the Russians cheated, the Russians hacked. And I told you this has not been widely reported. It isn't big news. You haven't heard about it, but this is what got the ball rolling. The Senate Judiciary Committee is considering Trump's nomination of Jeff Sessions. On Tuesday, this would be yesterday, all 9 Democrats on the committee signed a letter demanding that, if confirmed, Sessions recuse himself from any investigation of efforts by Russia to interfere in the election. Now, I want to step back and explain what's going on here. This is all tied to the Inspectors General report that Obama announced, investigation, the IG investigation in the Department of Justice of the FBI and Comey. Because I think the reason why this, well, maybe not the reason. I think the Democrats would have done this anyway. But they nevertheless did it. They signed this letter, all 9 of them on the committee, demanding that Sessions say that he will recuse himself from any investigation of efforts by Russia to interfere in the election. I think this results from, sad to say, first significant strategic error the Trump team has made. And that strategic error was having Senator Sessions say that he would recuse himself when it comes to any Hillary investigation. Now, this all came about during his confirmation hearings, because during the campaign, Trump is out there saying that he would investigate Hillary and she should be in jail, she shouldn't be running. And Sessions is one of Trump's supporters and is showing up at the rallies and is, by association, thought to agree with Trump on this and may have even said things that gave people the opinion that he does agree with it. And it was on that basis. Well, obviously, Senator Sessions cannot be fair in any investigation of Mrs. Clinton if he has already said that he thinks that she should be in jail or whatever it was. So the Trump team and Sessions at his hearings had Sessions admit or acknowledge that he would recuse himself, because the Democrats made a big deal of this in the hearings when they were interrogating Sessions. Beauregard, they said, would you recuse yourself if President Trump requires an investigation of Mrs. Clinton's email? And he said, yes, I would. I will recuse myself, Senator, he said. And I think that's the first big strategic error, and I'll tell you why. You do not give an inch with these people. You never presume they have moral authority to tell you how to operate. Never. You never acknowledge that. You never acknowledge that you have any kind of a problem compared to them. Never. But they did. And I don't know who was the advisor. It may well have been Trump. Don't know. Doesn't matter now because it happened. But I think it was a rare sign of weakness. And the Democrats have exploited it immediately. By virtue, it was that admission by Sessions and the Trump team that Sessions would recuse himself from any investigation of Hillary that then prompted Obama and the Democrats to announce this Inspector General investigation into Comey. And if you're going to if you know going in that the Attorney General, that the war horse, that the new head of the department is going to take himself out of it, well, then you may as well start demanding all kinds of things he should recuse himself from. And that's what they're doing. That's why they signed that letter yesterday. So now this investigation is another thing that they're trying to engrave as untouchable sabotage, meaning the Russians engaged in untouchable sabotage, and the investigation has been judged as important and worthwhile to find out just what the Russians did. And we're talking here, if there needs to be an investigation ending, it needs to be Hillary Clinton, for crying out loud. It needs to be a Barack Obama and the Democrats and his Department of Justice, not the FBI. It needs to be a Loretta Lynch and what else was going on in there. Why would she not convene a grand jury? Why were there no subpoenas? Why was Comey stonewalled? If that's what needs to be investigated here. Why did the Democrat Party, and how did they do it, the Obama administration, circle the wagons to protect her during the campaign? We know the answers, but it needs to be officially pursued. But Sessions recused himself. The Democrats don't see that as a sign of fairness, cooperation, bipartisan. They see it as a sign of weakness. And it's like dropping a blood of water into a little tank with a great white shark in it. If you happen to be in a tank too, you're dead. The shark gets a sense of the blood, and if you can't get back in a cage, it's sayonara. And that's exactly what happened. And I think the Trump team made a strategic error here in acknowledging that Sessions would recuse himself. And that is why the left is demanding even more Sessions recusals. And I think there's a lesson here. You know, I'm just a guy on the radio. But I'm going to tell you, never give an inch to the Democrats. I know Trump is not ideological. He doesn't see them the way you and I do. He doesn't see the left as a bunch of liberals, and then being liberals does not inform him who they are. He's learning. I mean, he's being victimized by them every day. They're trying to destroy him. He sees it. And he, like, for example, he sees what CNN's doing, running fake news and all that. How much he associates that with an ideology, I don't know. I wish that he had more of an ideological awareness, understanding, and agreement with this. But it's not a fatal flaw here. He still understands they're bad people. He still understands they're out to destroy him. He knows this. And what he's got to figure out, and maybe he knows it, but there's somebody, just don't give an inch. You cannot. They didn't win, folks. They didn't win anything. They have been repudiated. They have been shellacked. They're running fake polls. They had some fake polls yesterday on Trump's approval, a new round of fake polls today on Obama's approval. And the polls on Obama's approval have been released today, make it look like the American public actually now wish Obama was still president, not Trump. It's a full-fledged assault. It is a massive, it's shock and awe. The left is mounting every lie they can to establish lying, false narratives that are part of the daily soap opera script or news cycle. And you can't give in. They start making demands. Well, we must remember there is a power of minority rights and all. Screw that. They didn't win. They've been repudiated. The American people sent them packing. And if you give an inch, if you try to cross the aisle, extend the fickle finger of friendship, whatever you try to do to engage in the time-honored art of bipartisanship, you're going to get shafted. And that would be my unsought advice. The lesson for the Trump team, never give an inch, or this is the kind of thing that's going to happen. Never admit that you were wrong and don't apologize. Trump's got that down pat. He doubles down. He's got that down pat. He's got the tweets down. He's not going to be intimidated out of that. So I wanted to clarify that and not wait for later in the program for that addendum to the story. Now a break, and then we'll come back with the audio sound bites on the media not all that happy with Obama and WikiLeaks and Chelsea Manning. After this, folks. Welcome back. It's great to have you, Rush Limbaugh. You know, look at Loretta Lynch. During the campaign, when the Hillary investigation is still ongoing, what does she do? She gets on Bill Clinton's... Well, actually, he gets on hers. Bill Clinton lands in Phoenix. Somebody says Loretta Lynch is... Hey, get me over that plane. Get me over that tarmac. I got to talk to Loretta. She gets on the plane with Clinton, and they talk about who knows what, supposedly grandkids. She didn't even have any. And she didn't recuse herself. Did you notice? No. Loretta Lynch said she was stepping aside. She was going to defer to Comey. which we now know was also strategic. They were dumping it all on Comey. They were making Comey the focus of a fraudulent investigation that they are now investigating. She did not recuse herself, and Sessions had no need to recuse himself either. Now, look, not all of the reason why this bugs me is that there's no reason to help the Democrats back to power. There's no reason to give them a voice here. The Democrats are stepping. Look, we put bags of excrement in front of them, and they keep stepping in it. WikiLeaks is a great example, this Chelsea Manning thing. Look at what's happened here. When Chelsea Manning leaked all these documents giving away American secrets, military and national security, they cheered. And they cheered Assange, and they cheered WikiLeaks. The Democrat Party, your Democrats, your American left thought it was the greatest thing on earth, and they cheered this Manning character. And they thought he was brave and courageous because in their minds, the United States is the problem in the world. And so this guy giving away American secrets, committing treason, that's an act of courage. They liked Snowden when he did what he did. Well, they're going to come back and rue the day, ladies and gentlemen. They might regret having made WikiLeaks so famous. It may have cost them Hillary's presidency. They build WikiLeaks up. They make WikiLeaks out to be something super secret great. WikiLeaks inviolate. WikiLeaks infallible. If WikiLeaks had the documents and they loved Manning, and now all of a sudden, after that, they have to now run around and start saying that WikiLeaks is a bunch of frauds tied to Putin. And all we need is somebody pointing this out. They're the biggest phony baloney plastic banana good time rock and rollers around. They're frauds, the left, the Democrats. There's no reason to give them a moist rag when they step in a pile of excrement. There's no reason to give them what they want. They lost. They need to continue to pay the price for the damage that they have done to this country the past 8 years. And part of paying the price is for the things they broke to get fixed and for the American people to discover a newfound prosperity, a renewed sense of freedom and liberty, and an upbeat optimism, which should be part of the American existence that they destroyed on purpose. They broadcast pessimism. They create pessimism. They create pessimism in every walk of life that they can and set themselves up in government as the solution and the answer to your pessimism. That and your doctor. They have wrought great damage to one institution after another. They have destroyed the American healthcare system. They have done great damage to the American economy with Obamacare and with other economic policies. They have created the notion that the United States is guilty in various spots around the world, and we need to apologize. We need to roll ourselves back, cut ourselves down to. They need to pay for this. And they're not going to pay for it if Trump's team continues to acknowledge, yeah, we need to recuse Sessions. We need to get him out of it. I know it's just one thing. But look at Trump's not even in office yet. And look how they're behaving. They're just beside themselves. Success is the greatest revenge, folks. Happiness, success, the greatest revenge.